Okay, so get this. We're diving into something kind of crazy today. Imagine like you're watching a new movie and you see a celebrity who's passed away back on the screen, acting like they were never gone. I mean, how is that even possible?
It really is amazing how AI and computer graphics are like blurring the lines between what's real and what's not.
Right? It's like, is this magic or something? But it's really just two technologies, deep learning and CGI. And I'll admit, when I first heard about it, it sounded super complicated to me. But then I started reading the articles and research that you sent over. And it's actually pretty amazing.
It is. Basically, deep learning lets AI look at tons and tons of footage of a celebrity, like their voice and their movements, and even like those tiny facial expressions that make them unique. Then CGI uses all of that data to create the super realistic visuals that we see in the movies.
It's like teaching a computer to perfectly imitate someone. But on a whole other level, you're basically feeding these AI algorithms mountains of data, like everything from old movies and interviews to TV show appearances. It's all used to build a complete digital model of the celebrity.
Exactly. And it's not just about recreating how they look. Deepfake technology can actually use voice synthesis to mimic their voice with crazy accuracy. Remember when Paul Walker died while they were filming Furious 7? Well, they actually used his brothers as stand-ins, and then CGI, powered by AI, brought him back to finish the film.
I remember that. It was such a fitting tribute. It's amazing to think that they combined real footage with AI-generated content to create such a seamless performance. I mean, could you even tell the difference?
It's so hard to tell where the real footage ends and the AI begins. Like that scene where he drives off into the sunset at the end, it felt so real and emotional. That's the power of this technology.
Yeah, and then you have cases like Carrie Fisher's appearance in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. They used unused footage from previous films and AI to create new scenes with her.
And that case was handled so respectfully. It wasn't about replacing Carrie Fisher, but about honoring what she did for the franchise. It gave fans one last performance from Princess Leia.
Right? It felt like a real farewell. But then things get a bit more complicated ethically. When you look at a film like Finding Jack, where James Dean, who died decades ago, was digitally cast in a brand new role.
Yeah, that's where we start to see the potential problems and questions around this tech. Like, is it okay to bring back a celebrity without their consent? What does this mean for actors if they can just be digitally recreated?
Yeah, those are some big questions. On the one hand, we could see iconic actors in new stories, which is pretty exciting. But what happens to human creativity? And what about the rights of the actors? Even after they're gone, there's so many layers to this.
And we're only just beginning to understand it. This technology isn't just about bringing back familiar faces. The concept of virtual actors is emerging too, like actors who are entirely AI generated. Think about what that means for the whole entertainment industry.
Wait, hold on. Virtual actors, you mean actors who don't even exist in the real world?
Exactly. AI could potentially generate an actor who looks and sounds totally unique and can perform any role you can imagine.
It's fascinating and kind of creepy at the same time, you know? Like, where do we even draw the line? I mean, on the one hand, virtual actors could open up so many creative possibilities for filmmakers. But then what about the human side of acting? Like the emotion, the vulnerability, the talent that real actors bring to their roles. Can AI really replicate all of that?
It's a question that's causing a lot of debate. Some people say that AI could never really capture the human experience, like something would always be missing. But other people think that as AI gets better and better, we'll see virtual actors who can express a whole range of emotions, and it'll be hard to tell them apart from human actors.
Yeah, and think about what that means for the film industry. Like if studios can make entire movies without hiring any actors, what happens to all the actors? It seems like we're on the edge of a huge change in how we create and watch entertainment.
Totally. And it makes you wonder about the future of storytelling itself. Will people even want to watch stories with virtual actors? Or will they want that real human performance? Will we see a mix of both, with virtual actors in some roles and human actors at the center of the story? It's wild to think about.
It really makes you think about what it meaning to be an actor. Is it about physically being the character? Or is it something more, like a spark that only a human can bring?
And what about the ethical side of virtual actors? Like if an AI can create an actor that's identical to a real person, could it be used for bad stuff, like making deep fakes to spread lies and propaganda? How do we even make sure this technology is used responsibly?
For sure, it seems like this technology has amazing potential, but also some serious risks. We need to be talking about what it all means and figure out how to use it in a way that's ethical and responsible.
Absolutely. It's not about saying no to the technology. It's about understanding what it can do and setting some rules. We need to find that balance between cool new technology and our human values.
I'm also curious about how this might change the way we see and connect with stories. Like if we know a character is completely computer generated, will we feel as invested in their story? Will we start to question what's real even more?
Those are great points. I mean, we already see this blurring of reality with deepfake technology. It can be super hard to tell if a video is real or fake. Now imagine that for an entire movie. It could really mess with how we see truth and authenticity.
And what about the potential for manipulation? If anyone can create a virtual actor that looks and sounds exactly like someone else, what's stopping them from using that for bad things?
Yeah, it's a real concern. We need to think about how this could be misused, especially in areas like politics and social media where deepfakes could be used to spread misinformation and ruin people's reputations. We have to develop ways to spot and fight these kinds of manipulations.
Like we're entering this uncharted territory, and we need to be really careful. On the one hand, this technology could do so much good, like raising awareness about important issues and educating people, maybe even helping us connect with stories and characters in deeper ways. But on the other hand, it could be used to deceive people, manipulate them, and erode trust.
It all comes down to us. We have this powerful tool, and it's our choice how we use it. We need to be open and honest about the ethical implications, set clear guidelines, and make sure this technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
You know, before we started this deep dive, I was mostly interested in the cool factor of seeing celebrities who had passed away back on screen. But now I see it's so much bigger than that. We're talking about the future of film, the future of acting, even the future of storytelling.
Exactly. This tech has the potential to completely change the entertainment world, and it's important that we understand both the good and the bad that could come with it.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. I'm honestly even more fascinated by this now than I was before. But it's not just about the technology. It's about the choices we make as a society and what kind of future we want to create with it.
And that brings us to another key part of all of this, the audience. They're the ones who will ultimately decide what happens with this technology. Will they accept virtual actors? Will they demand realness and transparency? Will they hold filmmakers accountable for telling stories ethically? It's in the hands of the people who watch and engage with these stories.
It's a two-way street for sure. We need to be informed viewers, asking questions and demanding responsible use of this technology. It's not just about sitting back and watching whatever's put in front of us. It's about actively shaping the future of entertainment. I feel like we've just dipped our toes in the water here. We started talking about seeing celebs who have passed away back on screen, and now we're talking about AI creating actors and even whole stories.
It's crazy how fast technology changes, and it makes you wonder about how it's going to affect everything, like our lives, our culture, even what it means to be human.
So where do we go from here? What's the future of movies and acting? Is this the end of human actors?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's tough to say for sure what's going to happen, but I think one thing is certain. The line between real and fake is going to keep getting blurrier. We'll probably see a lot of different approaches. Some filmmakers might just go all in on virtual actors, while others might use this technology in more subtle ways, like maybe to enhance performances or create these crazy characters that push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
I wonder if someday we'll look back at movies with only human actors and think of them as like old-fashioned, like silent films or black and white movies.
It could happen, but I think there will always be a need for that human touch, that special something that real actors bring to their roles. There's just something magical about seeing real human emotion and vulnerability on screen. It connects with people on a deep level, but the way we experience those performances, that might change as technology gets more advanced.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. We've gone from bringing back celebrities to these incredible visual effects and all these questions about what's real, what's fake, and the future of storytelling.
It really shows you how creative humans can be and how we're always trying to push the limits of what's possible. But we also have to remember that with every new technology comes a responsibility to use it wisely and ethically.
And like we talked about, that responsibility isn't just on the people who invent the technology. It's on all of us, the filmmakers, the actors, the studios, and especially the audience. We need to have these conversations and demand transparency. and be accountable for what we create and what we choose to watch.
Absolutely. This isn't just about having fun. It's about shaping our culture and our society.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. I have to say I'm even more fascinated by this now than I was before. But it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the choices we make as a society and what kind of future we want to build with it.
You got it.
Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive. It's been an awesome conversation. And as always, keep those questions coming.